Oh, just a quick clip on Greenbean. The other day I grabbed one of these guys up. This is for the charcoal box down there. Grabbed one of these off, I don't know if it was a 99. Anyway, it was off a Caravan at the U-Pull. Because I know these go bad. As you can see, this is the one I was limping along with, and I had an intermittent evap leak, as you can see. I'm thinking that's it. See how rotten the rubber is? Let's say I put my mouth on one end, not that you want to do that because this is like gross and it disintegrates, and you put your finger over the other end, I could blow through this. The one I just put on there couldn't do that. It was sealed up good. And as you can see, this was so expanded here that it wouldn't even stay on the little flanges. So that guy's my evap leak, I'm pretty sure. So fix that up right quick, throw this thing away. Well, yeah. Working here on the 97 again, Greenbean. And the other day, let's just say it was cold out, and I went and I adjusted the steering wheel, right? And when I put it back, it didn't lock back in right away. And so what I ended up doing is when I let it go, I rocked the steering wheel like pretty harshly back and forth, kind of jar this loose. Need to spray some lubricant in here. I'm going to get some PB, like a white lithium grease. I got a spray can of it, and I'm going to spray this down. But anyway, when I did that, the airbag light came on, and I'm like, well, great, I broke the clock spring. So today I just took this off. I just looked under back here, make sure something didn't come loose on like the airbag plug for some reason. Nope, everything looked okay there. And you know, typically when you lose the clock spring, you lose the horn and you lose the cruise. Cruise still activates, horn still activates. It's possible I broke just the airbag wires in the clock spring, right? But I'm like, I'm gonna dig a little deeper, because down here there's a bunch of plugs. So I pulled this cover off, and wouldn't you know it, that guy is loose. And you know why he's loose? The clip is broke off, like the little plastic. There's a nub, so it locks into this tab. That nub is gone. So that's been like that for a while. And I guess I jarred it loose when I shook the wheel. So get that plug back in, and I'm going to get some, I don't know, do I want to use like, I don't want to use like super glue. I don't want anything permanent. Get some tape to just hold it here. So, I mean, it doesn't want to come out, so I guess it's just because I forced it when I moved the wheel. So I'll get some tape, and that's going to be my approved repair, just to hold it in here. But yeah, look at that. Now let's see. It blows up in my face. Get this on camera. And the airbag light's out. Go away, ABS light. Okay. Boom. Fix the airbag. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, we got 241.707 on the clock. I got to screw the airbag back in, and then I'm going to lube that up, and then we're going to secure that connector, and then no more airbag light looking at me. That's cool. And then we fixed the intermittent check engine light. Hopefully it was that. We know that was an evap leak down there on the charcoal box, so hopefully that's the only evap leak. But we will, we'll see. Oh, that's way better. So sprayed this little guy just so he's got some on the teeth when he contacts. Sprayed that bar up top here so when it rides on that, I don't know what you want to call it, like a cam lobe, or not like a cam, but like it's like a lobe. It functions the same. And then down there, there's a bar that moves. This guy pivots right here. I'll show you. See that all pivots? That's all been lubed. See, look at that. It locks immediately. And then I came around this side, and I sprayed. See that this arm rides on that screw? Here, focus. And then back it goes into like a bushing that's kind of wore out. So I sprayed all that down too. That way all the contact points are lubed. And this thing, it's night and day. I need to do this to all my vans. That 20-plus-year-old grease just ain't doing it very well anymore. But that is going to be nice, and that should prevent what I did to do this. And now I'm going to tape this. You see, that was already loose again. That's funny. I'd never had an airbag light before. So I guess I don't really move this ever. But there, fixed. So I got this box in from Rock Auto today. Comes with premium dust and tape that looks ancient. I mean, look at this. Look at the tag on it. Where do you think this box has been hiding for the last 20 years? It's a fuel filler neck for Greenbean. So we'll unbox that here in a minute, but we're gonna go over and we're gonna fire up Greenbean and pull it up here. The fuel neck has got a little bit of a leak in it, so we're gonna go ahead and replace on that. I did have this running yesterday, so shouldn't have any issues starting, and we got power and everything. Oh, also I forgot about this. I got a Reman, I think it's Reman, yeah, Reman Cardone window motor. This was I think that was on closeout, because this window motor has kicked the bucket. So maybe we'll get to that too, but we'll at least get the fuel leak sorted.
In New York for
243,013 just rolled over last week because I haven't driven it this week. Fires right up. Still no noises, and we did that at just under 241,000. So, well, we did the bearings, which weren't the noise. It was just a sticky lifter that just hasn't, you know, stuck again. And we're moving. And we'll back this up onto ramps so I got, you know, space to work under it. But I want to have this fuel leak. It's not really bad. Like, you know, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't really care so much. Because I think it only just kind of seeps when it's like super full. And it kind of backfills into the filler neck. Otherwise, I don't think it's an issue. But this van right here, Greenbean, we're going to be taking down to Illinois to see the solar eclipse on Monday the 8th of April, which is next Monday. It's Tuesday right now, so in 6 days. So anyway, we want to make sure that we don't leak fuel, ideally, for that kind of a road trip. And we're getting pretty close to backing up where I want to be. Go about there and I'll put it up on ramps. Anyway, I will bring you guys back when I got it up on ramps, and I'll get you under there and I'll kind of show you what's going on. At least what I think is going on. Alright, let's do an unboxing in here. It's kind of windy outside, so we'll do it in there. This is my knife. That's a VIN tag off of the van I got the upper rad support for this off of for this van. Because the one that was on this van was bent from an accident in like 2003. Anyway, it seems to cut that garbage, you know, dry rotted tape pretty well. We'll go with that. Come on, there you go. Right, once we get it through, it kind of goes. So I think that will be enough for me to get into this box. Time capsule right here. Two old stock parts, that's for sure. But yeah, it shouldn't make a difference for what we're doing here. Come on, I'm gonna break this tab. It's right there. I can't get it to break. Okay, that piece of tape's holding on. Come on. Please? If I ask nicely? Oh, I'm gonna reach over. There we go, got it. Well, there she is. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's specific between short and long wheelbase, but I don't think it really matters. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. I bought what said short wheelbase specifically. And the one that came with this rubber piece down there and the hose clamps, because I think my rubber's dry rot and the hose clamps are rotten. So I made sure I got all that. It's got a ground strap and everything. I don't know if the OEM one's got a ground strap. If not, well, now we got one, I guess. And it's got the vents and stuff. Anyway, well, it looks like a fuel tank filler neck. It's got some sort of assembly spray on here. What do you think that is going on right there? Just a defect in the paint? Yeah, I'm thinking so. I should take the gas cap and make sure it clicks into that, because I know they changed the gas cap style. I do have both, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And this rubber's got some pliability left to it. We only got one hose clamp though. Oh, that's a shame. I guess I'll have to dig one out. But the important part is we got this rubber and we have a new hose clamp here, so I'll just have to get a hold of another one. All right, well, I think that's gonna work. Take these caps off, might as well. Don't need them anymore. Save those though. Those can be good for something. Anyway, I think it's just 1, 2, and 3 screws to get it disconnected from the body. And then obviously we gotta get the hose clamp, and then these 2, and then if there's a ground strap or something, we gotta undo that. And then we'll have to snake it down the bottom. So, but yeah, there you go. 20-year-old parts, I'm assuming. I'll have to look at those SKU numbers and see if there's any decipherable information on it. Otherwise, yeah, cool. Okay, it's a little windy, but here's what's going on. So, we've got the rubber going into the filler here. And this clamp looks okay. And then you've got this big bracket here that kind of shields it. And so that's got a 10 mil, or is that an 8? Whatever. It's got a bolt right here and then 2 up here. Hopefully those all come out. So we got to get that off. And then we get this clamp off, and the whole thing should drop out. But here's one of the vents. Here's where that ground, one of the grounds is right there. You can see a little strap. And I'm sure there's the other vent in there somewhere, but here's the other hose clamp. And it looks like it got sprayed with oil or something at some point, as you can see, which is a good thing. But you can also see right here all the dried up wetness from where it's leaking fuel on this guy here. I must have sprayed it with fluid film at some point, but it probably already had a pinhole in it. Anyway, it's leaking, so we're gonna take this off. I'll get this hose clamp off, get this bracket out of here, get the 3 screws up in the top, and hopefully it drops out no problem. And I will bring you back when I got it out. Okay, I got that bracket out, all 3 of those. They were like screws, sort of. They're screws is what they are. They came out okay. But now you can see both vent tubes, and the ground came out with the bracket here. And then while I was up there, I also pulled out the original brake lines, for what was left of them, that were still tucked up under the gas tank. It was bothering me looking at them. And I hate it when people leave those up there. I see it all the time, though. Usually a quick brake job, just snip the lines off and run new ones around it. But I got them pulled out of there, so it ain't gonna bother me no more. Anyway, yeah, so we got that cleared up. I think I'm gonna try work on getting these clips off. I don't know how they come off yet, so we'll see if we can get these lines disconnected, and then it's just get this strap off, get this off of here, and undo it from there. Well, that's certainly one way to get them both off. That one came out, so what I did is I got a hose pliers on here and kind of twisted back and forth, and while I did that, I got under here with a pick and popped. It's got 2 clips on either side, so one on either side. Guys will hold it to that ridge. It looks like the seal stayed behind here, so we'll see what we need to do about that. But the other one, I took the hose pliers to it, and it snapped right off. So there's another one of them evap leaks I've got, one of many it seems. Yeah, so there we go. Now just get the hose clamp off and get it out from, get the, what do you want to call it, the fuel fill out from the top. I think I might have to pull this plastic piece, which we'll see how well that goes. Well, we got it out. You guys didn't see a thing. Yeah. We're gonna rust convert that and then put that back on and pretend we were never there. There, it's been completely rebuilt. Anyway, so yeah, you do need to get that off. There's a clip here. Mine pulled out with my hands, no problem. There's a clip up top securing it upwards, and there's 2 going back here, and that should be them all. I've got 3 of them here. I think there's 2 laying back there in the pile of rust. So now I'll just get the rubber tubing off, and it should just come out, so you can see right there. So it's kind of cool here. I got it out. Here's the part number and everything for the OEM one, and see how they got it marked short wheelbase unleaded, because you've got long wheelbase, you've got short wheelbase, you've got unleaded, and then you've also got flex fuel, and I guess they're different, I think. Anyway, I'm looking here. I don't see any like obvious leak. And look at this though. There's the evap leak, obviously. Well, one of them. We fixed the other one. Was that plastic tube, that little short tube by the charcoal box. We fixed that one. And then here is going to be another one right here in the vent. Fuel tank can't pressurize properly, obviously. But I do believe, looking here at where this is here, I bet you, I'm thinking it was leaking out of the rubber here. Just to see how wet it is. So we'll take that. I don't even know if I can get that hose clamp off for what's left of it. See, I don't, that ain't very much of a head on that hose clamp anymore. That's vice grip size for sure. But it doesn't matter. This hose is somewhat still pliable. Funny enough, it actually came off no problem. It'd be easier if you had the tire off, but I was able to snake it out of there. So there we go. And I think since we've got the opportunity while we're in here, got this all, open, and we got this rust fixed, we'll come in with a can of fluid film and hit underneath here where we normally wouldn't be able to get with that panel on. So we'll get up and all in here and everything too. We'll spend 1 can on it. Anyway, that was the hard part. So I'm gonna slap it back together now. Let's make sure it's the same first, I guess. Guess we'll do that, huh? I don't know how they expected me to adhere this ground strap. I guess you put one through the screw when you put it in. Now the other one, I don't know what they want me to do, because the other one was clipped on. So maybe do something like that, and then, I don't know, figure that out later, I guess, when we're under self-tapered into somewhere. But immediately it looks different. Oh no, I've got it backwards. That's why I'm looking at it. I'm like, that bend's not right. It's because it's not in the right spot. I'm gonna go ahead and say that is close enough. It's a little longer maybe, but then it'll just sit further in that tube. Yeah, close enough. We'll send that. Well, that's all I had to grab it by. And I did get it out. So, we win. Got everything apart. What are the odds on that stuff sealing? I don't know about that. Yeah, I had to fight these off. I think these are just bushings, these 2 pieces. This one, on the smaller one, did have an O-ring left behind. I'm assuming this one had an O-ring too. I just couldn't locate it. Assuming these are just bushings and that they're sealed by O-rings, I think if I put new O-rings on them, we'll be alright. Yeah, I think these are just bushings, so I think we'll be fine to use those, because they just allow it to seat properly, which I don't know how well that one is going to seat properly, but... And we get some O-rings that fit that, we might be okay. But this didn't come with anything that resembles that, as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm blind, maybe I missed it, but I don't think so. I don't think that came with anything. So I will see what I find, and I will let you know what I end up with here. Because obviously we don't want to do all this work and have it leak, At least if those leak, I can fix that under the vehicle still. So I think that's what we're going to try. I got 2 O-rings here. and I think it's ready to go on. Got my clamp kind of set in place, so let me slide that on. We'll just clamp that down. Otherwise, I think that's it. We'll figure that out when we get down. I'll probably have to cut the zip tie to do whatever I do. Well, it's screwed in there with some new hardware. It's in there. Notice the heat marks on the vent tubes. And then here's our good fitment right here. Yep, she's mint. Yeah, at first I was having a fitment issue with the vent tubes hitting up there. So I brought them in, heated them up, and bent them flat. And yeah, this is where we're at now. Right now, it's the fuel tube is hitting the back of the inner fender behind the wheel. That's hitting. So this is about where it should be, right about there. And that's where we're at. Yeah, tell me how that works out. Yup. I don't know what to tell you about that one. Besides, aftermarket parts are, you know, just about as good as they are. That's it right there. That's the fitment you get with aftermarket parts. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit and think on that one. I don't know if I'll be able to bend that whole tube, because the whole tube really at that bend needs to go up, but also if I bend that tube anymore, it's gonna kink it. Really, it needs to bend towards the end here. I don't know what to say about that one. Great. So I picked up my new fuel tank filler neck. This one from O'Reilly's. Happened to be in Shakopee, I guess, at some point. There's a sticker on it. It's a Precision FF513. Anyway, it's got the two fillers on it. See this ground strap here? It is attached up top, and if you look down here, it's got that right little clip-on tab that'll just clip right to the protector bracket. So it's correct. It's got both hose clamps on it. This one does not have the rubber, it appears. So we will have to take the rubber off of the Rock Auto unit that doesn't work right and put it on this one, which is fine. But also, what it does come with is this little kit here. There's the two O-rings we needed. And then if you look at this guy right here, it's got a service bulletin that talks about exactly what I was showing you guys, where that little flange plastic insert stuck to the tube. And what it says essentially is to carefully remove it. You know, I removed it as carefully as I could, and put it back inside the quick connect. I'm gonna look and see if it'll fit in the quick connect. Otherwise, I'll just leave it on the end of the tube when I stick them in. I don't think it matters either way, as long as it's there. So yeah, we'll see. But it comes with the O-rings and stuff. I'm betting that one's gonna fit. Okay, so I got the quick connects ready. So the way this works is you gotta have those inserts and you press them in, right? And make sure you press them in, they only go in one way because they're grooved, because they only seat so far in. And then once they're in, here, let me, I guess I can't use flash. Anyway, so they leave a little bit of a groove in between the end of that plastic connect and then the inner tube here, and in that little gap is where you seat your O-ring. So I slid these quick connects in, make sure they get past the clips here so they don't come back out, and then I started the O-ring, and then I used actually here's what I used right here. I used this guy to kind of feed the O-ring in and just push it up there until it's seated. Once that's in, you should be able to slide your tubes on there and they should just lock in, and that should be it. So we got new O-rings in there ready to roll. I got our brand new, what do you want to call this? Whatever O'Reilly brand it is. It's a Spectra based on that document that I had that was in the box. It's in the bag. It's a Spectra, but brand new. I got it from O'Reilly. It was cracked when I opened it out of the bag, so I ain't got time to deal with returning it and getting another one shipped in. So I cut a little piece of tin here, and I added 2 more rivets to it to kind of make it one piece again, because this is kind of what holds it in place, at least holds it to the body here. So we're not going to put this in until this is all tightened down. That way most of the load is on this and the tubes versus this cheap thin plastic. This is what happens when you get non-OEM, this thin plastic. Now, if there was a van in the yard that wasn't just as rusty as mine, I would have went and grabbed an OEM one, but up here, you don't find the non-rusters. Remember that? It'd been nice. I saw that brand new. I was on that purple Town Country. Had a brand new one of these on it. Would have been nice. I would have just grabbed that one, but didn't know I needed one at the time. Anyway, I'll have this in and done by the time I bring you back. I swear I say that every time, but I'm not bringing you back because I'm going to get this either it's in or it won't fit. We'll see. Left that one out because there's nothing left to put that clip to. We're in, gas cap's on. Go underneath here. Got the bracket on with my new strap right onto rust, so that'll do a lot. Tightened, and then up right there. Both of our clips are on. Those little nylon like grommet pieces that hold the O-rings in, I had to do a little machining on those, but they fit now and they're on and they're tight and they're clipped in, so hopefully the O-ring is seated properly and it doesn't leak. We will find out. Let's fire it up, let it warm up, clean up my tools, and then drive it off the ramps. Hopefully it don't leak. I will fill it up tomorrow after work and we'll see. Well, hopefully the check engine light goes well. I'll read that code, but it's an evap leak, guaranteed. So hopefully we don't have an evap leak anymore. Like, hopefully no more evap leaks. Anyway, runs and drives. Well, you know it drives. It runs. We're not pouring fuel out. It's not wet. It looks dry, so we shall see. Because what do I got in it right now? Half tank. Yeah, half tank. All right. Oh, that's gonna do it for at least this part.